Boom. Ah, I'm Paul Cram. Want to talk a little bit about a book that I read and enjoyed. It's That Librarian, written by Amanda Jones of Louisiana, Livingston Parish, Louisiana, to be exact. Um, yeah, she's this book is memoir meets maybe slightly manifesto in a way, I guess, but she shares her experiences after having gone to a library board meeting and or city library board meeting, city council meeting, and talking about her concerns about just as a resident of Livingston Parish and her concerns about not having book bans and like that she believes that people should have access to information. And she became sort of a villain in a target basically for book bans because people were specifically like Citizens for a New Louisiana. They took photos of her and they basically lied. They posted things online saying that she is wanting sexually explicit materials in libraries. She's a groomer. She's a pedophile. She's pushing pornography to children, none of which is true. Simply because she went to a meeting and talked about wanting, libraries to be for everyone and for people to have access to information. I really appreciate in the book that she shares in chapter 3. She kind of outlines how libraries work. And it was really cool for me because, as one who has been a lifelong patron of the library, it was cool to. There were some things that she shared that I was like, I did not know that. She kind of starts by mapping out the library sections, which I think most people know. You have your children's section, you have your middle grade section, you have your young adult teen section, and you have the adult section. And oftentimes, what will happen is that there's already library policies in place where if someone is like, oh, this book is shelved in the middle grade section, and I think it should go to a different section. Maybe it's a little bit too grown up, so maybe we should move it to maybe the teen section or maybe the adult section. And so that kind of thing, libraries have those policies in place on like being able to challenge a book. And if it is over a certain reading level, that would make sense. Or like if there's content where it's like, yeah, maybe this is. And Amanda even says in there that she's seen it happen, and I think she's also participated where she's like, yeah, this makes sense. This specific book that's shelved in the teen section should belong in the adult section just due to some of the content, and they'll move it. Great, no big deal. Where she gets upset though, and where I agree with her wholeheartedly here on this is when the book bans that are occurring mostly right now and what we're seeing a lot of lately is it's not that people want to like reshelve it to a different section of the library. They just want the book not to be in the library at all. And this is a part of sort of like oftentimes like a religious ideology where, I mean, do I need to explain this to people? Religious ideology or a political ideology. Oftentimes what she was seeing is that it has to do with people that are not wanting there to be content out there that has queer characters, people that are LGBTQIA. I myself has an experience like this. I am queer, and I grew up in a very religious fundamentalist family. I myself, again, have had a family member come to me and just go off on me because I gave a book to a family member, one of my nieces or nephews, and oh my God, there was a queer character in that book. How dare you, And what makes me so sad in that is that it's like libraries are for everyone, including people like me. There are books and there are stories that have queer characters. That's kind of amazing and that's great. I exist. And the fact that even in my own family, someone would try to trample that out and deny that it exists or that it should exist is horrible. And the fact that people are doing that in libraries in our current society because they are uncomfortable or because of some religious ideology that is your own religion, that's on you. You choose to follow that religion. You can't put that on everybody else. Like, oh my God, people. So I appreciate that she delves into that for obvious personal reasons. I also really, really, really smiled and chuckled when she shared that libraries have policies where you have uh, like minors, like children, must be accompanied by an adult. You don't just bring your child to the library and drop them off and wow, bye. Libraries are not daycare centers, people. You are the parent. It is your responsibility to monitor your child in a public space that is for everyone. It is not the job of the librarian to do that for you. In addition to that, like if your sweet little Susie goes to the adult section and she is not, and she's a minor and she chooses to pick up books that are sexually explicit, that is not the responsibility of the librarian to like monitor that. That is your responsibility as the child's parent. There's already policies in place stating as such. In my own, again, my own instance, having grown up in the family that I did not get a good sexual education. I was 16 years old or so when my dad gave me the sex talk. Newsflash, that's too old to get the sex talk. By then, I had already gone to where I knew to find information, and it was not to the internet because I'm too old for that. I went to the library, which actually is a pretty good spot to get like sexual health information. I went to the library, I got books, I looked at them, diagrams of sexual reproductive organs and like it was what was available and it was good because I wasn't getting what I was needing from my parents. Fortunately, my parents did teach me how to like do critical thinking and like I was like, I need to know something, I can figure this out. And I did. So thank you, mom and dad, for not raising a dummy in that way. Yeah, but that just made me laugh. It made me laugh when she was talking a little bit about that. Like, I am not your kid's daycare center worker, whatever. Yeah, again, kind of like common sense, but what she points out is that a lot of people don't have common sense and they don't know a lot about the library because oftentimes people that are wanting to ban books either don't read or don't take the time to read or just don't even go to the library, but yet they want to impose their stances on other people that do. Does not make sense. Oh, the book overall is great. I appreciate it. A lot of it is memoir. She talks a lot about her court appearances and like kind of what that process is like. She also shares like that she was able to raise a lot of money to cover court costs by people around the nation, around the world, who heard about her story and wanted to support intellectual freedom and also stand up for someone that was getting harassed and bullied by people online. I also want to point out she lives in Livingston Parish. The groups like Center for a New Louisiana or whatever it's called, nobody was there that like even lived in that city. Like it's just like these people that were coming from out of town, sort of political, religious people that were wanting to impose their views on her city. Again, this is just all too familiar in some ways for myself, considering how I grew up and sort of the extremism that I am very familiar with. Anyway, if you've read the book, drop a comment. Let me know if you liked it. Also, to what my t-shirt says, have you read any good banned books lately? I'd be curious to hear what they are. I'm always on the hunt for a good read. All right, everybody. I'm going to call it a night. I hope you have a good one too. Actually, you know what? I hope that you have the night or the day that you deserve.